Good morning, everyone. Ignore the nose. I got a bloody nose this morning for some reason, so it doesn't make for very good camera. Sorry. Here at this, isn't this awesome? It's another reason I love mornings. So peaceful and beautiful. And the fog is filling the whole valley. Absolutely lovely. All right, I can show you some of the work we did. I need to find a step stool. I used to have a nice 2-step and a 3-step. It's perfect for mudding, and I don't have one. And I'm gonna have to go get one because it's just, I can reach the ceilings, but it's just a little high, and I have a really bad neck and it gets sore. So I'll leave that. Got all the walls done. They're all dried up now. And all the wall joints would be ready for a second coat, but I gotta finish the other rooms first. So I didn't do this joint yet. That's actually another easy joint. It's just a hair high. So I'm gonna see if I can find a step stool for that. The pail works too, if I had a good pail with a lid on it. But anyway, this one's all done, nail holes as well. This one here I finished in the dark. Just the joints. I did not do the nail. Well, I did some of them, but not very many. So I'm gonna try to finish all these rooms today, this morning. And then I gotta scoot and get out of here. So hopefully get the hallway done as well. And if I can find something to stand on, then I'll do these ceiling joints as well. And hopefully next time you see me, my nose won't be bleeding anymore, and I won't have this ridiculous toilet paper hanging out of my face. Alright, interesting fact. For one, my nose stopped bleeding, so that's good. It is like an hour and a half after that first video. And first, I gotta show you this. So the fog's retreated down into the valley. Isn't that just beautiful? Sorry, the fly screen's in the way now, so it doesn't make as clear of a picture, but just stunning. I love that. God paints a beautiful picture every day. And photos and paintings just can't do justice to that, in my opinion. It's stunning. Fun fact of the day. All of our videos are like a week behind. So a lot of times when I get advice from many of you, it's already too late. I had a few people contact me this morning. Oh, you can get that here, here, here. Well, I'm already putting the drywall, or I'm already mudding the house, never mind the drywall. So the video that just went up yesterday is us looking for drywall. And as you can see, it's already up. So it tells you kind of roughly how far behind we are. But many of you reached out and said, yes, there is in fact some 10-foot drywall. It is custom ordered. And one person told me that I can get it at Leroy Merlin. So I didn't look there. I looked at OBI. Why some stores would carry it and some don't, I haven't got a clue. I do know, I've been told a few times that many Russians put the sheets on vertically. And I do them horizontally because it's easier for the joints. Now in this case, I'm gonna have this joint anyway, but it's only a couple. Admittedly, I don't like doing this. It's over the window. I don't like that. It cracks easier, but it just worked out that way. But I only have one joint every 8 feet. And if I would have used 10 or 12 foot sheets, I wouldn't have had that. Like this here would have been one 12-foot sheet. Would have made it to the end, and I wouldn't have had any joints in there. And then you only have this joint to do, which is really easy. Very easy to just run along with your trowel. They do exist, just hard to find. The other thing I was discussing with Justin from Altai. If you don't know him, you should check out their channel. Him and his wife and kids live in Altai. They moved from Australia, and they have a YouTube channel as well, Backyard Russia. You should look them up. He's been really helpful. Every now and again he sends me a ton of links. So this morning there was a whole whack of them for different kinds of tools that I'm having a hard time finding. They've been here longer, so his understanding of the Russian language is much better, and maybe he's just better at searching for things on the internet because I have a hard time finding stuff. But we did discuss this morning the simple fact that I love going to one store and getting all my stuff. And we have a lot of box store options in Canada that we do not have here to that degree. So a store like Leroy Merlin, but I find that they don't really carry a lot. One example I gave him is I was looking for a specific type of pliers. And I went to OBI the other day and they had a huge wall, big wall full of pliers. Ah, perfect. So I went over there and I thought, surely they'll have what I want. Well, that big wall you could basically reduce to 6 pliers because they had 5 pegs of each kind. And so it looks like a lot, but it was the same product. I just don't find they carry a great selection in many of these stores. And you actually need to go where I found the plier that I wanted was actually a little specialty shop, a tiny little place. you know, maybe twice the size of this room, a bit bigger than that, where they had some of the specialty things. In Canada, it's the other way around. These little small specialty shops don't seem to carry a lot, because they can't afford to do business, and the big box stores are driving them out. So as much as I like big box stores, the mom and pop shops are the ones that we should be supporting, because that's local economy, right? If you support the Walmarts of the world, that money all disappears someplace else. It doesn't support the local economy to the same degree. And so we've seen that a lot in Canadian towns. A lot of downtown businesses are closed now, that they just can't afford to do business. They can't compete with the big box stores. It's something to think about. You want to support your neighbors and your friends, or do you want to support corporate, the corporate world? They probably both have their places, but as much as possible, it would be nice to support other families like mine that are also just trying to put some bread on the table.
Wes made this bench here so Papa can reach the ceiling. He made these notches over here so it's not so heavy. And there too. And these braces to make it sturdy, it doesn't fall over. It has it on both sides. And this handle so you can pick it up easier. This. It's hard for me to lift it up though. See, my Papa can stand on it. It's very sturdy. You can touch the roof easier. I think Wesley did a really good job by making this bench. This bench is Eli approved.
Good morning, everybody. I have actually been up for an hour and a half already. The sun is high in the sky. Everybody's still sleeping. We got back here pretty late last night, so they're all snoozing. And I'm kind of hesitant to start working in the house because I don't really want to wake everybody up. Well on my way mudding upstairs. First coat is on. I'm going to lightly sand everything, take all the the lumps and chunks off, and then get started on second coat hopefully today. Although I do have to go back to the city again. Doing a lot of driving around lately. It is absolutely beautiful out. Mornings are still my favorite and my highlight. You can see the sun's up. I just love mornings. I always have. Sunrise. And once again, I forgot to film it, but this whole valley was full of fog here. It's beautiful. It's just gorgeous. It's great to be alive. This morning I was answering a whack of emails. Ever since the new presidential decree, I have been getting a lot more interest, a lot more emails, a lot more requests, questions from folks in the West, many of you, that are also considering making the move. And I've always said there's more people that want to go. It's just so much of a pain. And now, thankfully, some of these hurdles have been removed. If you're unaware of what that is, the new presidential decree eliminates the need for a language test and eliminates the need for quota for certain people. And I don't know if the official list of countries is out yet, but basically Western countries that are somewhat attacking Christianity. I wouldn't say somewhat, that are attacking Christianity with their new woke policies. And so traditional families from these countries can now seek refuge here without the need for a quota, which is basically just an immigration slot, is no longer needed, and the language test requirement is now also gone, and you can apply straight for temporary residency. That is a huge hurdle. If you have a large family, you know what I'm talking about, but even if you don't, it takes time to learn a language. It takes a lot of time. And if you got a lot of kids and a busy life and you need to feed yourself and look after yourself, we don't believe in living on government. We need to look after ourselves. It takes a lot of your day. I'm not trying to make excuses, but learning a language is obviously something that takes a long time, and it's not done overnight. And so eliminating this barrier is huge. I'm very, very thankful for it still every day. And now I see, obviously many of you are as well, because my inbox once again is filling up with people asking questions about Russia and where they can move to. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Where people can move to, how it works, who they can get in contact with, etc., etc. So keep the emails coming. I'm sorry if I don't always get back to them. There are a lot of emails in my inbox, and I do not always have time. We are obviously busy trying to build a house right now for our family, but I will do whatever I can to point you in the right direction and answer your questions as much as possible. My one thing, I was commenting this morning, reading someone else's email, and thinking, reflecting, and Anneesa and I have discussed it not too long ago. She mentioned it actually 2-3 weeks ago, how she's never really concerned anymore about the future. And I sat and thought about that too, and yeah, you're right. I don't worry about it anymore. When I was in Canada, I was constantly worried. What are we going to do? Because the country is just nosediving. What are we going to do for ourselves, for our children? What are we going to do financially? What are we going to do when we run out of work? You always got to pay the mortgage, you got to pay the bills. There's just so much worry and so much uncertainty. Maybe not everybody feels that way, but I know we did. We felt very uncertain about the future in Canada, and really worried about it. Now, of course, we want to lay everything in God's hands. Ultimately, most of it's out of our control, but the thought's still there. It's still going. Where is this leading? Where is this going to take us? What future will our children have? What future will our grandchildren have? Will they have any future? What's going to happen to us as Christians in this country? And now, honestly, I never think about it anymore. I don't. Life seems so much more relaxed, so much more simple, the way it should be. I do not concern myself with the future at all. I can now easily leave it in God's hands because I'm not concerned about it. I'm concerned with the here and now. I'm living in the present, saying, okay, what do we got to do today? Get this house ready to go for winter. But I'm no longer worried about 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. I'm not worried about my children's future because I know that they have a bright future here. They have the opportunity to have a bright future here, put it that way. And same with my grandkids. Right now, the outlook for the future looks excellent, and I can only imagine good things for them in the future. So that speaks volumes, I think. That says a lot. And I know many of you are also concerned with the exact same things. So, long story short, I think you should really make consideration of moving your family. And that is very hard for a lot of people to do because people are attached to things. And I would recommend that you get unattached from things. things don't mean anything. Family means something. God means something. Freedom means something. It means a lot. So think it through. Something to consider. Today I'm gonna carry on with mudding, like I said. I'll work on that. I'll finish the drywalling. There's still a bunch of drywalling to do on the main floor. The upstairs is all done now, and the main floor needs. I don't even think we have enough sheets for it all. A few people asked about insulation in the ceiling. So the upstairs ceiling, we'll be blowing that in if I can find the machine for it. Normally we do that ourselves. Where we were in Canada, we could just rent the machine and buy the insulation, and we would blow it in. It's all blown in insulation, loose, fluffy insulation in the attic. Now between the first floor, between these two floors, we'll be sticking that insulation in, and I have lots in the house yet. It's just a matter of doing it, and we are waiting. I'm not sure why we're waiting. I guess we wanted all the electrical done. My main priority right now is getting the upstairs done. Completely painted, trimmed, and then moving on to the next floor. But we could probably insulate that right now. We have that for it, so that'll be bad insulation. We'll be doing that and then putting drywall on. The upstairs, I put the vapor barrier and the drywall on first and then blow it in afterwards. And then between the basement and the main floor, we're also going to insulate that ceiling, and those insulations are not for cold. That is strictly for sound. So when the kids are horsing around in the basement playing games or something, and we have company over, let's say, we can still have a normal conversation without being interrupted. It's that we still got beautiful flowers here too. Wonderful. When I see stuff like this, I see God as well. I see it everywhere. I try to point that out to my children, whether that's in the bugs, it's in the flowers, the grass, trees, air. There's so much beauty and variety, and I think we can learn a lot about our Creator that way. He's not boring. He didn't make every flower the same. There's so much variety, so much color, so many different sizes, different styles. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Here's something for you. Often we pray and we ask God to open our ears to the sounds around us, to open our eyes to the sights around us, to open our smell to the smells, or open our nose, our nasal, whatever, to the smells around us, open our mind to the things around us. And we thank Him for doing that. When I see things like that, I just thank God that I have eyes that I can see that. How many people, even with eyes that work, don't see that flower? They go through life and they miss all the bright spots. They don't get to see it, and I'm just very thankful that God opens my eyes. Here's another one. God opens my eyes that I can behold that, and I can see this beauty, and it makes my day better. All around us there's beauty and there's life, there's God, but many times we walk through life and we don't see it, whether that's by choice, I don't know. Ask God to open your eyes, open all your senses to see these wondrous works all around us. And then I think maybe life becomes more enjoyable that way. God is good. There was another email this morning. What was that about? Oh, my back. A lot of people were asking about my back. It actually feels a lot better now. The pinch is gone. About 10 years ago, I had a lot of lower back trouble. And I did chiropractor and massage at that point, and then it was gone. I never had troubles again up until a few months ago in my lower back. I do have a lot of trouble with my neck and my shoulder, and that's just a matter, it needs to be stretched, I guess. So appreciate your prayers and your thoughts for that very much. I still think I'm missing something else, but it'll probably come up during the day. Appreciate you all. Thank you for your love and your support, and I better get back to work. First coat's done. You're getting close. You can see when I put the tape on. Again, I'm not a professional. If you want to look on YouTube for professionals, give her. I'm just telling you what I do. The corner bead tape, and this could touch, but I try to never overlap them. So this tape here, I cut it short, and this is fine like that. This side here is a little closer, if you can make it out, but there's a smaller gap there. Thin, 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 as thin a coat as possible. So there's like basically nothing there. Okay, there's no edge, no lip. And what I'm doing now is just walking by and scraping off anything that's sticking out. If I feel a hump, then I'll take the back of my trowel. This one actually is not very good. The ones I had in Canada had a steel end on it. This one's kind of rubbery, so it doesn't work as well. But when you come across something that's sticking out, I whack the wall to make a dent that I can then fill up. And I'll quite often take a pencil and I'll circle it now at this stage, because otherwise I might not find it. When I'm doing my first coat, it's easy to find. But any imperfections like that, I would make a circle so I know to fill it with mud later on. So anyway, just running around scraping it off before I do my second coat. If I have a hump in here right now, how can I show you that? If I have a hump in here now, as I'm coming along with my trowel, it'll make my trowel jump, yeah? And so then I'll have this bigger hump. And that would get annoying, because then there's a lot more sanding to do. And sanding, again, keep in mind, is the worst part of the whole job. And so I tried to scrape it off. See if I can find you a hump to give you an example. Quite often there's a mud splatter or something around. Here, perfect. So you can see how that sticks out from the wall. And so now, if you watch the end of my trowel, I'm sorry the camera's kind of shaking here, but I'm trying to get the focus for you. It's not working very well though. Anyway, you can imagine that it sits up. It will go this way. Alright, so now you can't see under the trowel, yes? And when I move, the trowel lifted. Doing my best. Anyway, the point is, it just makes more and more of a mess. So at this point, I'll scrape that off. I just come along and I scrape off these humps. And I will go along the whole wall. And just make sure everything's smooth. Here's another one. There's a big hump here, right? That was maybe better. So when I jump over that, if you see how big that is, see how much I lifted? And that would make a bigger hump. For many of you, that's maybe common sense, but for those of you who've never done this before, I'm hoping it's kind of helpful. And so I just run along, scrape that all up. So I'm gonna go do this whole room here. I'll do room by room, and then I gotta work on the second coat. No more tape. Tape's already all on, but a lot of mud. Second coat will be filling in a lot. I can try to show you that too. I need a straight edge. So this is more or less straight. You can see how much needs to be filled. Everywhere there's light there, that's going to be filled with mud now. No, I don't use this. I'll use a trowel, but you get the idea. And then on butt joints, like these, you'll see it rocks. Yeah, so that needs to go from here to there, we'll fill it. And from here to here, I'll fill it. So it'll be a great big long joint here. But the first pass, I'll do one up the middle, make a flat section. And then the next coat, I'll do one here and one here. And then I'll have to try to smooth that all out. Hi-ho, off to work we go. I am happy to report that my little invention worked out great. This is an old mop piece that I found in the dumpster, attached to a hand sander. Because I could not find one. I searched high and low and I couldn't find one. I asked a few different places and like never seen something like that before. So I thought, okay, fine, I'll make one. Now I did have a viewer stop by the other day and he brought one. This is the real deal. And you can see it's got the same, let me put this down. It's got the same swivel head as I have on mine. This is a real authentic one. But essentially is no different than this guy that I made. And it is actually working. Now this is a wider pad. That's the normal one that I'm used to. This one is much wider. There you go. But it's working. Many of you pointed out in the comments that they do exist here. So I don't know, it's so hard to find stuff. You're using Google Translate and then translating what you know the English word is into Russian and then trying to find that on Ozone or Yandex or something. doesn't work. I have recently discovered though that having the picture, if you have a picture of what you want and then search that in Yandex, have much better luck finding stuff. So that's been a big success to us lately. But I thought I would just share that it is working, and if you're in a pinch, your wife ain't looking, you could snag this off her mop without her knowing, and you can start sanding. And then when she's upset about the missing mop, you can explain, yeah, but I did a real nice job sanding. Now the benefits to this is that I'm way down here and I can sand. I'm doing this one-handed just to show you, so it's not working real well. But you can get up there without having to have that in your face and be up on a ladder. I'm just standing on the ground here, reaching from way over here, and I could do sanding. Now I like to put 2 shoulders into it, 2 hands. Obviously I'm holding the camera with one right now, but it works really slick for getting up there without having to get up there, if you know what I mean. I typically do not sand between coats. All I'm doing, itchy face, all I'm doing is knocking off humps. You can hear Wes. He's in the other room with the trowel, as I was doing earlier today, just knocking off a couple of high spots so I can get the next coat on without having any bumps. There always will still be some, is what it is. Some people sand between every coat. I find it's a waste of time. Again, I hate sanding. That's the worst part of the whole job. So I try to do as best possible job with each coat, putting just a thin layer of mud on, not too much. It's basically gonna look more or less like this when I'm done, other than there will be more mud. And then the least possible sanding, and you're done. Put some paint on the walls. So what we're doing here, folks, is making a mess. You had to record doing the ceilings, eh? That's the messiest part. Don't worry, people. The magic is about to happen. Everything will be okay. Calm down. Get off your keyboard. Stop typing. Watch. Reason I'm looking is because, can you see that on there? That was fascinating. Can you see the curve on the blade?
Not really.
Oh, it's dipped. It's very important, but it's dipped this way. Which allows me to leave more mud in the middle and less on the sides. Very important. Oh, come on. You picked the wrong one, man. Baby blue. Okay. So baking a cake. If there's no cake, this stuff tastes awful. I'm assuming.
It smells awful.
Yeah, I wonder if I should try it. If I can read the box, it probably says don't eat.
Hey, darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. Hey, darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car.
Uh-oh.
Leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air.
Such simple
Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair.
Uh-oh.
We can look back someday. Baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count. Come on now and take my hand.
Oh, uh-oh. Let go. Let go. Where? Oh, see it? Let go.
On the road with a couple of tunes in a car for two.
There it is.
Hey, darling, you know we're gonna have a really good time. Driving in the middle of the night when the stars are bright. Pack our bags and get in that car. Leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday. Baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna